going to give you a month, and you need to be active and be able to walk and show me that you're making some progress.
1 month?
Yeah, 1 month.
Season 13 of My 600-Pound Life proved once again that when the stakes are life and death, Dr. Now's office is where excuses go to die. His blunt honesty, razor-sharp instincts, and deep understanding of addiction and behavior turn every appointment into a reality check most patients never see coming.
You gained 17 pounds. Why?
Just with depression going on, and then my dad's death date.
So what are you telling me? That you got depressed and you use that to justify eating what you want to feel better. What is that? What did that make any sense?
These are the moments where his approach truly lands, from tough love confrontations to unexpected compassion to wake-up calls that force these patients to confront the patterns pulling them under. Here are the most defining Dr. Now moments of Season 13, where his guidance cuts through denial, pushes past fear, and shows exactly why his voice has become the heartbeat of the entire series. Karen. Denial of the scale. Karen entered Season 13 of My 600-Pound Life struggling not only with her weight, but also with a profound fear of leaving her home. She weighed 604 pounds and said she was determined to lose enough for surgery, but she had developed habits that prevented her from fully engaging with Dr. Now's program. Her initial consultation revealed a recurring pattern. While she believed she had lost significant weight, the scale repeatedly told a different story. On the day of her weigh-in, Karen expressed frustration that the numbers did not reflect the progress she felt she had made.
I'm feeling frustrated because I've been working as hard as I ever have to follow Dr. Now's plans for me, but I'm being let down by the same lady with the same scale.
Despite feeling like she had lost 100 pounds since beginning the program, the scale read 583, which was only about 20 pounds less than her previous visit. She insisted that the scale was inaccurate, that the nurse hadn't used it correctly, because her body felt different, and she could sense her weight loss. Yet the actual measurement contradicted her perception. Dr. Now calmly explained that while feelings were valid, the scale provided the objective truth of her progress. Karen's denial extended beyond weight tracking. She rarely left her home, limiting her mobility and reducing her ability to implement the lifestyle changes required for sustainable weight loss. Dr. Now highlighted that her lack of engagement outside of the home was a serious barrier to success, emphasizing that even if she were approved for weight loss surgery, she would need the capability to travel and attend follow-up appointments. The discussion also touched on her diet. Karen admitted to occasionally eating more when she received her food stamps, though she denied eating regularly otherwise. Dr. Now challenged her excuses, pointing out that real change required consistent effort, not selective adherence. Understanding that Karen was at a crossroads, Dr. Now offered a last chance plan. She was instructed to lose 50 pounds within 2 months, attend therapy sessions to address her fear of leaving the house, and demonstrate commitment by visiting her local clinic. The doctor made it clear that failure to meet these benchmarks would result in the end of her participation in the program. Karen expressed willingness to comply, acknowledging that she needed to improve her eating habits, leave her home, and fully engage in therapy. The plan was specific, measurable, and designed to confront both her physical and psychological obstacles, emphasizing accountability and personal responsibility. Throughout her consultation, Karen's emotional responses revealed both her frustration and her desire to succeed. She vacillated between defiance and acceptance, reflecting the internal struggle of many patients on the show. By the end of the visit, she had a clear roadmap for success, including weight loss, therapy, and increased mobility, setting the stage for potential future achievements if she adhered to the plan. Dr. Now's approach balanced empathy with firmness, ensuring that Karen understood that her progress depended entirely on her own effort. Gary. Reading about weight loss doesn't burn calories. Gary's journey in Season 13 of My 600-Pound Life was defined by frustration and stagnation. Unlike some patients who struggled with emotional eating or fear, Gary's main obstacle was inactivity and a lack of personal accountability. From the start, he admitted that outside of his physical therapy sessions, he was essentially doing nothing to improve his condition. He relied entirely on the structured PT appointments but did not follow through at home, leaving him largely immobile and dependent on others for basic needs. This lack of initiative made it clear that, despite having access to guidance and support, Gary was not taking the steps required to change his life. During his consultation, Dr. Now addressed this issue directly. He pointed out that while physical therapy was important, it alone would not be enough to create meaningful progress. Gary was reminded that true change required personal effort every single day, not just during scheduled sessions. Dr. Now pressed him on what he was doing outside of therapy, and Gary admitted that he wasn't walking, exercising, or challenging himself in any way. The doctor emphasized that without active participation, all the tools and programs provided would be wasted. He highlighted that time was a critical factor. The longer Gary remained inactive, the harder it would be to regain mobility and reduce weight safely. To convey the urgency, Dr. Now set a strict one-month deadline for Gary to demonstrate real progress. He instructed him to focus on two primary goals: improving his mobility and achieving measurable weight loss. The doctor emphasized that the next month would be a pivotal period. Failure to show commitment could jeopardize his continued participation in the program. Unlike Karen, whose challenges included fear and denial, Gary's obstacles were almost entirely behavioral. His physical potential existed, but without motivation and consistent effort, he would remain trapped by his own complacency. Gary's conversation also included a subtle but crucial lesson: the importance of personal responsibility. Gary said he'd been reading Dr. Now's book and was taking the lessons to heart. But Dr. Now retorted that reading about change is not enough. Effort is required to make any progress.
I've been reading your book.
Well, that's good, but reading isn't magic. So nothing short of your effort is going to make
This statement underscored a key theme of Gary's story. External guidance is only effective when paired with a patient's willingness to act. The moment highlighted the difference between knowledge and application, showing that tools and resources have little value if a patient refuses to engage. In the end, in spite of his humorous delivery of the core message, Dr. Now was firm and unmoving, leaving Gary with a clear understanding of what was expected of him. He had 1 month, not 2, 1, to demonstrate active engagement in PT, follow a structured plan to lose 100 pounds, and prove that he could regain mobility sufficient to function independently. The episode served as a stark reminder of the consequences of inaction and the power of consistent effort. Dr. Now's words left no ambiguity. Reading the book isn't magic. Effort is. Success would only come if Gary took responsibility for his own life and fully committed to the work required. But hold on! If you're enjoying these updates on your favorite My 600 Pound Life patients, make sure to subscribe to Living Large, drop a like, and show some love in the comments. It really helps us out. Jackie, the hidden weight of grief and stress. Jackie's journey hit a critical turning point when she stepped on the scale and realized her progress had stalled. Despite her efforts to follow Dr. Now's diet and exercise plan, she hadn't lost the weight she needed. In fact, her results were far below expectations. She tried to explain that stress, depression, and the anniversary of her father's death had influenced her eating habits. While these were real challenges, Dr. Now made it clear that emotional struggles are not an excuse for poor results.
You're the one that you need to be in the driver's seat and be changing your life. Nobody else can do that.
His words left no room for excuses. He emphasized that while the program offers guidance and support, the responsibility for change rests entirely on Jackie. She could have therapy to help her understand and confront the emotional triggers behind her eating, but the tools alone would not create progress. She had to use them effectively. The stakes were clear. This was her last chance. Dr. Now warned that if she failed to show significant weight loss at the next appointment, her journey with the program would end. In a confessional to the camera, he was equally firm. Jackie had everything she needed to succeed: the knowledge, the plan, and the support. But until now, she hadn't fully taken control.
Maybe therapy or the fact that this is her last chance will wake her up. But if something doesn't, and Jackie come back next time with little or no progress, then we won't be continuing with her.
This conversation forced Jackie to confront a hard truth. Support and guidance can provide structure, but ultimately, the effort must come from within. And lasting change requires confronting your challenges head-on. For Jackie, the question now wasn't whether she had the tools to succeed. It was whether she was willing to do the work that would truly change her life. Deshawn, confronting the comfort zone. Deshawn's journey on My 600-Pound Life highlights a struggle that goes beyond diet and exercise. It's a battle with motivation, accountability, and the comfort of inactivity. When Dr. Now and his team checked in, it quickly became clear that Deshawn had fallen into a cycle of destructive behavior. He spent almost all of his time in bed, barely moving beyond the bathroom, relying on delivered meals and a caregiver to cook for him. Despite multiple attempts to introduce therapy, physical activity, and structured nutrition, he consistently refused to follow through. During the consultation, Dr. Now's frustration was palpable. He addressed Deshawn directly, asking why he hadn't followed through with physical therapy or psychotherapy.
You never follow up to confirm time with psychotherapy. So what is the issue?
I don't know.
You told PT you stopped coming. You have a reason for that?
No.
Deshawn's answers were minimal, and when pressed, he admitted he had stopped attending sessions without giving a reason. The doctor quickly highlighted the problem. Having tools and support means nothing if you refuse to use them. Deshawn's pattern of manipulation and avoidance, from demanding food to remaining immobile, showed a man trapped in comfort rather than growth. Dr. Now made it clear that this behavior had consequences.
And I told him this is the only opportunity you have. If not, Dr. Now and them are not going to help you any longer. If you want the change, you have to make the change.
He emphasized that therapy was not a reward or an excuse, but a tool to help Deshawn confront the emotional and psychological barriers preventing progress. Daily exercise and engagement with the plan were mandatory if he wanted to continue the program. Deshawn's caregivers tried to intervene, explaining that he had everything provided for him: a safe living space, meals, and support. Yet he remained dismissive. His repeated statements of, "I don't care," and "I don't want nothing," revealed a deep resistance to taking responsibility. Dr. Now recognized this pattern. Deshawn was comfortable in a self-destructive routine, and without a shift in mindset, the tools and opportunities offered to him would remain ineffective. The episode underlines a harsh truth. Weight loss isn't just about calories or exercise. It's about willingness, effort, and accountability. How even the most comprehensive support system cannot replace the personal drive needed to change. Therapy, guidance, and structure are valuable, but they only work if the individual chooses to act. For Deshawn, the challenge is not physical alone. It is accepting responsibility, breaking patterns of avoidance, and taking the wheel of one's own transformation. Juan, the power of will and mindset. Juan stepped onto the scale with a mix of nerves and excitement, knowing how far he had come. At his last appointment, he had weighed 577 pounds, with a goal to lose 70 pounds in just 2 months. Today, the scale read 505 pounds. For the first time, Juan felt that his hard work had finally paid off.
Well, Juan, looked like you finally figured out what to do to lose weight, huh?
Yes, sir.
Juan admitted it hadn't been easy. He didn't rely on a magic diet or intense exercise routines overnight. Instead, he had learned to change his mindset.
It was the hunger thing, my will, learning to just say no when I felt hungry. Just changing that mindset that I was going to be hungry, but not eat, that was a real turning point for me.
This simple but powerful shift in attitude made all the difference. Each day he made a conscious choice, and over time, those choices added up. Dr. Now was clearly proud.
Well, you're looking good. I'm proud of your progress.
Juan's mother, who had supported him every step of the way, beamed with pride. Family support had been critical, helping with motivation, keeping him accountable, and celebrating small wins along the way. Dr. Now emphasized this, reminding Juan that having a support system is just as important as personal discipline. The weigh-in wasn't just a number on a scale. It was a turning point. Dr. Now confirmed that Juan was now a strong candidate for weight loss surgery, but he also set clear expectations. Juan needed to continue losing at least 10 pounds per month leading up to the procedure to show he could maintain the discipline required for long-term success.
You think you can do that?
100% I can do that, no problem.
As they wrapped up, Dr. Now reflected on Juan's journey. It had taken him longer than expected to reach this milestone, but what mattered most was his persistence and commitment. He had proven that real change requires consistency, self-control, and accountability.
As long as he continues that and maintains that enough to show me he's not going to get comfortable and slip back now that he's gotten approved. And if he makes it to that point, then he will have proven to me that he's going to stick with it until he makes it to his goal.
Juan left that day not just lighter in body, but stronger in spirit. His journey illustrates that weight loss isn't about quick fixes. It's about dedication, mindset, and the courage to take control of your life. Every small choice, every moment of self-discipline had brought him closer to transformation. For Juan, this was only the beginning, but it was a beginning built on real effort and determination. Progress doesn't happen overnight, and as Dr. Now always reminds his patients, every choice adds up. Which of Dr. Now's methods hit you the hardest today? His tough love, his calm guidance, or those sharp one-liners that cut straight to the truth? And if you were sitting in his office, which approach would push you to change? If his most iconic moments from Season 13 gave you something to think about, subscribe to Living Large for more of Dr. Now's no-nonsense wisdom and the journey shaped by it. We've got another one coming right up.